Good evening, AJ. How art thou doing?
Franklin, a storm is coming down upon our heads in many ways than one, not least because the old northwesterly gale is currently battering the triple glazing.
Yeah, it's a really, really windy day, isn't it?
It has not been pleasant.
I wasn't anticipating this at all, but it's raining, it's windy, and there's dark clouds in the sky. Does it remind you of anything in particular?
Just the northwest in general, to be quite honest. I think it's a bit of a metaphor for, well, about a week, really, isn't it?
Yeah.
Sort of our last
I've been listening to it. It wouldn't go too much into detail now because there's another show on this week, isn't there?
We're going to put another show on. Yeah.
Do you often get the impression, though? I mean, in generalising about life itself, that there's a growing number of discontented people in the world that just like to moan.
Yes. That's always, yeah.
I like moaning, but you know what I moan? I moan about the storylines on Emmerdale and Coronation Street. Yes. And then I think to myself, well, hang on a minute. Sometimes real life becomes as bad as some of the scripts on the soaps.
Well, you know from watching Emmerdale that there are literal storms that are cause for moaning, aren't they? When chimney pots land on people's heads and, people's houses get flooded and a Land Rover drives into a ditch and stuff like that. So, yeah, it's
You've got to find a way of filling your life up, haven't you?
Well, yeah.
If your life's short on fun, you've got to find a way, haven't you?
Yes, you do. Yeah, and some people watch Emmerdale and some people invariably just complain about it all on social media.
Yeah. Well, in my case, to sort of keep myself away from social media, I go to the bingo.
You do go to the bingo. How's it been going?
Oh, well, I'm not really doing well at the moment. It's costing me an absolute fortune.
Well, it's the luck of the draw, isn't it? Unfortunately, you can't really sort of do anything about it.
Well, Elizabeth came with us last Sunday, and she turned around and said, because we both put £20 in the machines, and she said, if that's the only thing that you do in your life, then it's not really an expensive hobby to have. Because a lot of people, well, I don't drink, I don't smoke, I don't take drugs, although sometimes I feel like
you should.
I should. But yeah, so yeah, when you evaluate it all, I think the cost is minimal. But
I think Schem United is quite an expensive hobby to have, isn't it? As the chairman.
Yeah, I suppose it is. And listen, it's been a very busy and exciting week on the
it has.
on the Schem United front. Not that we'd sort of hinted anything less, but yeah, it's been an interesting week. Really good, positive. Events and meetings, and of course we will talk about at the end of the show the great victory that seems to have been overshadowed by the social media trolls. We'll talk about that in the end part of the in the end part of the show as we normally do.
Okay.
Pity it was overshadowed,
but we did get 3 points.
Yeah, we got 3 points. Not a cup win, but 3 points.
We did get 3 points this time, yeah. I keep forgetting that most of our wins are actually kind of cup wins, and actually, every so often we do win a league game.
Yeah, so what is it now? We've got 9 points.
We have 9 points, yeah.
Which is 1 point better than we did last season.
Yes.
Providing nobody else now
withdraws from the league.
Yeah, because if they do that, we're going to go down personally and kick them in the shin pads.
Yes, we are.
So be warned.
You've got small shin pads as well.
So anybody that we've beaten now, if you pull out of the league now, we're going down there personally, and I'm going to watch AJ kick his shins in. I'm going to stand there and just enjoy it.
Well, no, you're going to sit there in the getaway car and I'm going to kick shins and then run.
That's it. I'll sit in the car, the getaway car.
Yeah, exactly. So I played football on Tuesday night. I played my first game of football in about 10 years.
Yeah.
Absolutely bonkers it was, yeah. It was just a kickabout.
5-a-sides?
I think it was about 6, maybe 7. So we used half a pitch. Yeah. Smaller nets, sort of junior-sized nets. But it was a great time. I had an hour just running around playing football, and I had no idea how fit you have to be to play football because I was knackered. And I like to think myself as relatively fit, but
it's a different kind of fitness, though, isn't it?
Completely different.
I always used to say the same. I played a lot of football, and then carried on playing football into my early 50s, playing 7-a-side, 6-a-side, 5-a-side, whatever. Once you get used to it, the sort of fitness becomes becomes sort of normal, doesn't it? You become accustomed to it. But if I was to go, I can't now with a glass back, but if I was to go and play a round of golf, before my back issues, I just started playing golf, taking up golf again. It hurts muscles and sinews, parts of your body that you don't normally use in normal life. It's like painting and decorating. My son-in-law was down here on Sunday. Was celebrating my daughter's granddaughter's birthday, and he came down. He'd been decorating, and he was in agony. And he, was a young fit man, you know what I mean. But he said, "I'm in agony." But it is. I know what it's like. Yeah, decorating. You use muscles that you don't normally use.
Correct.
But yeah, football. So, what sort of position did you play?
So I was centre half.
Centre half?
I was a centre half, yeah. So when I played...
I can't imagine you as a centre half.
Neither can I.
Imagine you as a winger.
Yeah, and then I put...
Or a winger. I don't know whether...
No, you know me, I'm very committed to the cause. So 10 years ago I was a winger when I was about 10 kilograms less than what I am now. But now, since sort of putting on a lot of weight...
there's nothing on you.
Well, I mean, you've seen footballers, they're like sinewy as anything. I'm just bigger. So I don't have that ability to kind of bomb up and down the wing anymore. So and a lot of you'll tend to find that on 7-a-sides, a lot of people just love the glory hunting, so they're all sort of committing upfield, and then there's just one guy at the back. So I've got it covered. So anyway, I played centre half, a big commanding presence, loud voice, telling everyone where to go, where to move, starting to play out from the back, all of that kind of carry on. Made a few sort of Hollywood passes to the wings. Andy Barlow, hope you're taking notes. So kind of had all of that, made some amazing blocks, tackles, headed clearances, but bit of red skin to kind of go with it, because apparently you're not allowed to slide tackle on these AstroTurf games, which I thought was a bit ridiculous.
Very painful, isn't it?
Well, it can be a little bit painful, but apparently it's frowned upon as well. In fact, I put in my first slide tackle. Somebody said, "You're not allowed to slide tackle," and then I heard from somewhere behind me, "Is he trying to kill us?" I'm like, "Are you kidding? This is a contact sport, kid. You don't want a contact sport, go play tiddlywinks." And I turned around. No, wait for it. I turned around and he was wearing a Steven Gerrard Academy jacket.
All right.
I thought, you soft sod.
I was going to say, for context, you were playing against the under-11s, weren't you?
Yes. And the kids. Yeah, just commanding, sort of swing them out of the way. No,
Did you enjoyed it then? Anyway?
We had a brilliant time.
Have you recovered?
No, my legs are still like, because it's a complete...
Which the worst part? Your calves, your thighs?
My quads. Yeah, my thigh. Yeah. I have to kind of, when I was driving to get here, like there are occasions where if I take my foot off the pedal, like if I'm in a queue, I have to like lift my leg up to kind of put it back in again. So
you're going to play again next week?
So we're not playing next week because I go with...
It's going to be a regular thing now?
Yeah, I think so. So I go with my friend James, and he goes every other Tuesday.
I've met James, haven't I? Yeah.
You have, yes. So we play together. We're on the same team. When we were younger and thinner, we decided to call ourselves Mahrez and Vardy because he was the one putting the ball in the net.
You're sort of more Grealish now, aren't you?
Grealish by hair.
Yeah. But, Grealish by hair and now injured.
And now crippled, but now we decide to call ourselves Kante and Drinkwater because one of us gave up really early and the other one still tries to long bust these runs. But I had a brilliant time, but I'll go when he goes, so it's every other Tuesday down in Bamber Bridge. Had a brilliant time. We also won. I was keeping track of the score.
Is that actually at the football ground?
No.
They have a grass pitch, don't they?
Yes, they do, but they've also got a leisure centre in the town as well, with 3G pitches. They've got a full size. They've got two full-sized ones. So actually, it's a good little hub. But
how much do they cost?
It's £5 per man.
Right. Okay. Yeah.
So if you had sort of 14, there was
2
games going on.
No,
we had a full half. So there was 2 games going on.
To cover that even then.
Exactly. So it was 2 lots of games going on, and if you imagine each team has 7 players, that's 28 times 5. So that's a lot of money. Lots of money. Yes. It's 100 and...
just under 150 quid.
Yeah, give or take, which is great.
£140.
Yeah, and that's just for an hour.
Yeah.
That's just for an hour. So imagine that kind of income coming in. Absolutely unbelievable.
Oh, listen, we know that the big money.
The possibilities, exactly. So, we ended up winning 4-2. We didn't have anybody from Stephen Gerrard Academy on our side, just all lads over the wrong side of 30 with a bit more weight on them than is ideal. Yeah. And we were playing against, 2 players from Stephen Gerrard Academy and a couple of others who were very good at it, technically speaking. Just had no idea how, just kept passing the ball around. It was like netball, but on the floor. Just pass.
They're just watching it.
And they just couldn't get the ball in the net. And even when they did manage to get a shot off, I was in the way a couple of times over. Made a few really decent blocks, and then scored myself. We won 4-2.
There's nothing like bigging yourself up, is there?
Especially not if the manager of Skelmersdale United is listening.
He might do. I think he'd probably be listening to the second show this week more than the first.
Well, he's more likely listening to this and howling with laughter at the prospect that the co-host of the radio show is trying to audition his way into the squad.
I think it'll take a little bit more than that.
I'll need to lose 10 kilos.
Listen, talking about going back a little bit, because we did the prostate walk, the 56 miles.
Yes, we did,
which raised over £1,000 between us collectively, which was great and fantastic, and it got us all out and it got us walking.
Yes, it did.
My, obviously, association with watching soaps and what have you.
Yeah.
I have criticised soaps, but I have to say the storyline on Emmerdale, where Kane Dingle has been diagnosed a while back with prostate cancer.
Oh.
The way he handled it, the acting was top notch yesterday, and it's...
a very laudable.
It's man's battle against prostate cancer and all those issues that you imagine when you're getting what do they call it? A prostatectomy, is it? Prostatectomy, when they get the prostate taken out.
Yeah.
So that's I think that's what he's getting done. And of course, there's all the issues that surround that with erectile dysfunction and things like that men don't like talking about, but when there's a chance that they might lose the ability, having prostate cancer is no fun at all.
No, and if you are a man in your sort of late 30s to early 40s and you haven't had it checked, go and get it checked. For God's sake. It's just not worth the difficulty that it brings.
I think if you watch the acting, particularly surrounding that storyline, Kane Dingle, Jeff Horden, I think
Jeff Hordley.
Hordley yes. Is it? I thought it was Hordley. His acting is top quality. He should actually get an Oscar for that. If there was an Oscar for soaps, and I think there is in the
British Soap Awards.
British Soap Awards, he should get the Best Actor award.
I think
just purely based on that. So listen, I do criticise soap an awful lot, but when it puts on good storylines like that,
it's very much worth the watch, isn't it?
And particularly when at times when we're talking about the men's mental health group, what's that called?
Andy's Man Club.
Andy's Man Club. Yeah, to highlight those things and get people to talk, particularly men, because they don't do a lot of it.
No, they don't. And in fact, Skelmersdale has just launched its own Andy's Man Club, which is down at the Arts Centre, 7 o'clock every Monday night.
Brilliant. Good advert for them.
Yes.
So what else have you been up to?
Not an awful lot, really. Nothing particularly. I played football, guitar lesson. That's about it.
So you learning to play the guitar?
I am learning to play guitar. Yeah. I just need something to mentally focus my brain, and there's nothing quite like being hopelessly inadequate at trying to play guitar.
I don't know whether did we mention it on air last week about your...
I don't know. I'm sure
we did talk about it, didn't we? Yeah. Because I played the guitar myself, but I don't play it now because...
You don't know where it is?
Well, I'm riddled with arthritis and other issues.
Yeah.
So I find it very difficult to...
get that dexterity.
To put my fingers around the fretboard, never mind anything else. But I think we were talking about Kev Phelan, who got one of those AI songs. He gave all the words, and it knocked Dawn Bandy. I don't know whether we mentioned it on the show.
We did.
Did we mention it on the show?
I think that was...
Sorry for repeating ourselves if we did, but I think it's great. But my intention is to dust off me guitar again for one more shot at writing a love song for my wife, who puts up with an awful lot of crap over certainly over the last 3 years, listening to me getting slaughtered. But so
well, if you need a drummer, I can also drum.
You can drum?
I can drum.
Can you?
Yes.
Well, I can sing.
There we go. We've got a band.
Yeah, we've got a band. So who'd have thought that next we'll be recording songs?
We're like Hall & Oates, aren't we?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
Well, we claim it. Yeah,
who's the other Simon and Garfunkel?
Simon and Garfunkel. Yeah. I don't.
Robson and Jerome. I think we're more Ant and Dec, aren't we?
I think we're more Morecambe and Wise, to be honest.
Well, yeah, Morecambe and Wise. Yeah. So who's Morecambe? And who's Wise? I suppose I'd have to be.
You're Morecambe.
I'd have to be Eric Morecambe.
Yeah, you are. Yeah.
Not that you're the butt of all my jokes, like, but Cannonball. Rock on, AJ.
I think you're going a bit past my age range now for Cannonball.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, you know when you're talking about a question I don't think I've ever asked you, but when you talk about famous people that have passed away that had a big, profound effect on your life, is there anybody in particular that has had a profound effect upon you?
Not really, no, because I'm still sort of dicking about, in a bit of a midst, really. But
so I was in an era when, growing up, I was 15 years of age, I think, when John Lennon was shot dead. That had a profound effect on me at the time. Yeah, because I was a big John Lennon fan, big Beatles fan as well, but predominantly John Lennon. In recent years, so you've got Bobby Ball, who died a few years ago.
Yeah.
That had a profound effect on me because he brought so much laughter into my life. Watching him, just looking at him set me off.
Damn.
And then, of course, when he started appearing in around about the 6th series of Not Going Out, he was absolutely fabulous in that. And then when he died, it was just like, wow,
can't believe he's gone.
It's like a candle had sort of been blown out. It's weird.
Yeah.
So I just wondered, it's a question that...
No, I actually haven't had that. No, I can't think of anybody whose death really seriously kind of threw me off in that regard. No, I suppose I've been quite fortunate in
Well, you're young, of course. The older you get, the more you see death. Laid to rest. My uncle a few weeks ago.
You did.
Smashing bloke. Lovely family, great family. It's harder when you get older because you see more of it, and I end up going to a lot of funerals.
Yeah.
We've been involved with the football club, and of course, another legend that passed away a few weeks ago was Richie Wade. His funeral is the week after next. I think it's Thursday the 26th, 27th. I'm not entirely sure. Around about that time.
Yeah.
So that's another funeral that I'll be attending on behalf of the football club. Great legends, people that have been involved with the football club. Yeah. For many moons, we've lost a lot of legends. That's what happens. Unfortunately, the byproduct of life is death. But yeah, why have we been so bloody miserable anyway? Let's cheer the show up a little bit.
Yeah, let's. I think we just move into the show itself now because we always
talk football.
Yeah, all right, let's do it.
Hello and welcome to the Speaking Frankly Football Show. I'm Frank Hughes, the chairman of Skelmersdale United Football Club, and alongside me is my co-host and passionate press officer AJ the Jet. Not that being involved with the football club is a prerequisite for hosting a football podcast, but it certainly helps. We are ready to dive headfirst into the vibrant world of non-league football in the Northwest, and we might even take a moment to discuss some of the bigger headlines in the sport. We'll explore life in the Northwest counties, bring you interviews with well-known faces in the league, and analyse how local teams are performing while making bold predictions for their upcoming matches. Nothing is off the limits here. We'll be diving into all kinds of topics, including complicated refereeing decisions and regulations that often leave fans perplexed. We want to hear from you too. This is your show, so don't hesitate to reach out with topics you want us to tackle. Let's get this conversation started and enjoy every single moment. We are speaking frankly. Hello and welcome to the Speaking Frankly Football Show. This is episode 33 of season 2. Wow. And a warm welcome to my co-host AJ.
A warm welcome on this very wet and windy and miserable afternoon in the Northwest. Hello everyone, thank you ever so much for continuing to tune into the Speaking Frankly Football Show. And coming up on today's show, we will look at the Northwest Counties, the highlight of which is the departure of 2 managers from Premier League clubs. We're going to move through to around the other grounds in the other leagues as well, such as Bury and Clitheroe and Marine and Southport, all of the usual ventures that we make. We'll also look at the amazing progress that has been made in the FA Trophy by 2 of the teams that we cover quite regularly. We'll visit Controversial Corner as well, where the findings of the investigation into the abandoned game between Avro and Kidsgrove back in October have finally been released, as well as requests for change at Main Road, and then Kevin Lynch, who's also run afoul of some difficult times. So all of that is to come. We've got no guest on today, so we're just going to do one big show. We'll, of course, finish it off with our expert predictions and analysis on the coming weekend's fixtures in the Northwest Counties, as well as paying hyper-focus to Skelmersdale United. So first, Frank.
Yeah, well, you said highlight, being 2 managers being sacked. I don't know whether that's a highlight for them, but...
no, well, it's a low light for them, I suppose,
yeah,
really.
It is. So, first of all, Richard Brodie was sacked at 4:28 before the game had even finished. And then Glenn Hurst, the Pilks manager, was announced at 8 o'clock on Saturday night. He'd also been relinquished of his duties. Spoke to Richard on Sunday. He's obviously disappointed, but more so by the timing of it, which was done during the football match itself.
How on earth do you get sacked during a football match? What, did somebody ring him or?
Well, I mean, this is how it worked. He got sent off. So it was 2 yellows. He got sent off. So he was in the dugout.
Was he playing?
No, he was in the dugout. So he's remonstrating with the referee. See, what we have now is we have a band of managers that manage young teams and young teams that don't know the dark arts and don't know how to stick up for themselves. And what you end up having is you have a manager that sort of makes up for that. And sometimes that passion can boil over. I think when decisions are not going your way, and I think 19 games he's been in charge, he's had 1 draw, 1 point out of 19 games. It's been a really, really difficult time for him. He was getting little to no help at all. He's patching things together, and sometimes you have to be the voice for your players, particularly when they're young. And I think that's what he's done. Listen, Richard, by his own admission, is no stranger to controversy. He does, he's been sent off more times than, I don't know, Vinnie Jones. He's got that kind of reputation. He wears his heart on his sleeve. I think everything that he does, is done with passion. If he was my manager, I'd be sort of training him, to make sure that he didn't carry on making those mistakes. Because I keep telling him, listen, you are never going to win that battle with the referee, whether you're right or wrong. You're just not going to win it. So it's not worth fighting with officials. Listen. So by that stage, he's been pushed off the pitch, told to get into the changing rooms. He's gone into the clubhouse. He's seen the chairman pass him once, then pass him twice, and then pull him up and say, listen, can I have a word with you? Took him back around the back of the toilets, allegedly, and he's just said, listen, I'm going to let you go. And when asked why, he said, well, what, you just got sent off for starters, and it's a results-based business, and you've obviously not been doing particularly well. So Sal Maigra, I think that's how you pronounce it, Maigra, was Brodie's assistant. He's been named as the new manager of City of Liverpool. Pilks haven't appointed anyone just yet, although I believe they're in the process of doing it, because I've not seen an advert advertising the job yet.
So they must have somebody in mind.
So yeah, one assumes that they've already got somebody in mind. What do you think of the 2 seconds?
Of the 2 seconds? Glenhurst's, I think I understand more. I think Pilks were a team who, under Jack Edwards, had forged a bit of a reputation for themselves as being a very difficult team to break down and to beat. I know that there were occasions where they leaked a lot of goals, but I think you tend to forget that they started the season by beating West Italy and Chorlton 5-2 at the Step Places Stadium. That's a really, really difficult result for anybody to have. Yeah. So they started off incredibly well, and they've got some talent in their ranks as well. They've got players like Jack Pearce and Kyle Robinson Murray. Players who could really, do things in
Well, they've seen him in the last few games. He's in and out, isn't he?
Is he?
Pearce, yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that. But nonetheless, I think when Edwards had left, you'd kind of hoped that this would be a bit of a building process, and that Edwards had stepped away because he felt he could take the club as far as what he could go. And Glyndhurst came in, and he came onto the show straight away, and there was a lot of very confident talk about how he was going to bring in players that were going to match the style that he was looking for and the standard that
which is good. You don't expect the managers to come in full of, but you cover yourself a little bit and say it's going to be a much more difficult job than what we got the impression he felt it would be.
Yeah, exactly. But
too many changes too soon?
I think that's possible.
Only he will know.
Yeah, I mean, there's obviously been a few departures out of the Pilks door, as there is with any team at this level. Players do come and go. I think what's different about this one is the constant succession of just losing. It's almost almost a given, or nearly a given, that Pilks are going to lose before they've even stepped onto the pitch at this point. There don't seem to be any expectations for how Pilks were going to get themselves out of this hole. And they don't have money compared to a lot of teams in and around them. But with the players that they've got on their 11 and in their squad, you would anticipate much better results and much more consistent results than what they've been given. So I'm not really surprised that Hurst has gone, and also when you think of how much they're getting dragged in towards that relegation battle as well.
I think Glyn's gone in there thinking we've got a comfortable cushion here. I can make big changes quickly, and that comes very close to backfiring. I don't know what the state of the...
And then Abbey Hayes started to pull a few games together, and Steve Scott rocked up at Remaker and just turned the tide around like Moses.
We'll talk about the relegation issues.
Yeah, of course.
Later on in the first part of the show.
As for Brodie, I'm much more disappointed by that. Yeah. Because as you say, he and I said this online after just moments after he'd been announced to be sacked, is that he's taken on a job that nobody really wants at this stage. I mean, City and Liverpool are effectively written off anyway to be relegated. They've got no home, they've got no money, they've got very little of a squad.
Well, that's where the narrative changes a little bit, you see. So normally when a manager is sacked, the number two isn't installed straight away as the manager. So it seems as though the decision to promote the assistant manager was made long before, maybe a couple of weeks before he was actually sacked.
Yeah, you might be right.
There is also a rumour doing the rounds that there is some kind of funding now to help with the first team.
That's news.
And apparently when they played at Atherton and Al the other day, they gave a good account of themselves. So.
Oh, right, okay.
We'll talk about that later. But like you say, it's disappointing because you tie a man's hands behind his back.
Yeah.
You don't give him a trough to drink from, or you don't give him a penny to spend. Then you're starving the football supply, and eventually the simple byproduct of that is failure. You're not going to win games.
No.
So very, very difficult. From my perspective, I think I like Richard. I've gone on record of saying I like him. I like the way he wears his heart on his sleeve. He's one of the hardest working managers in non-league. There's absolutely no doubt about that. And feel sorry for him, but I don't see that. I don't see that as a sacking. I see that as a change in the guard, a deliberate change of the guard, because there's a possibility of bringing money in off the back of it. Listen, allegedly. But either way, it doesn't look good.
No.
Again, on the football club, because they're going through huge transitions all the time. We just don't know from 1 week to the next whether they're going to survive.
No, we don't.
They've got a possibility. It's still all in their hands now. But we'll talk about that. We'll talk about that later, like I say. Anyway, so listen, let's move on to Wythenshawe. So Wythenshaw's lead at the top has been shortened as they drop points at the weekend with a 1-1 draw at home to Glossop North End. They're now 6 points ahead of Ramsbottom, who lost to Bearscough at the weekend, but then beat AFC Liverpool 2-0 on Tuesday night. That was their game in hand, and they'll probably be ruining the defeat against Bearscough now, although they did, by all accounts, push them all the way. A good run could still see Bearscough sneak into the playoffs. Unlikely, but to be fair, they've made so much progress this season. I'm sure the Macron Cup is probably their priority right now.
You want to bring in a trophy, don't you? If you're anybody relative to Bearscough at this point, I think that they might be a little bit more disappointed with how the season sort of panned out in terms of results that they didn't want to happen and results that they weren't expecting. And I think if one or two results had kind of gone their way, they'd still be in with a shout at the playoffs. I think it's a bit more of an outside chance now. But if you think about it, they were 17th last season up until the final 10 games of the season when they went on that terrific run. So this is enormous progress.
Another thing to consider, of course, is that Jay Hawkes himself has only started at the beginning of the season as his first tenure in the chairman's seat. So from his perspective, he probably want to consolidate what they've got this season by winning a cup and having a proper go at the playoffs or even winning the league next season.
Yeah,
which you can understand, because from my perspective, people have asked me the question now, if are you prepared to go back into the Northwest Counties? Well, in many ways, we're not, because we haven't got our own ground. But would we take it? We'd take it. I think Bearscough, if they could sneak themselves into the playoffs and they could win it, they'd take the step up to the Northern Premier League.
Yeah.
Everybody would. You would do. But are we in the right shape to do it? Are Bearscough in the right shape to do it? I think Jay will probably say right now,
not yet.
They're happy with what they're doing. They're happy with the progress they're making.
Yeah, it's a bit of a project,
moving up is probably a step too soon this season, which is fair play to them.
I think
and it's a good way to run the football club.
I think he's not getting ideas above his station, and he's not throwing all the money in the world at trying to make it happen too soon.
And he's feeling his feet.
That's natural growth, isn't it? And I like that, and I think that's a very commendable way of doing it, because you obviously want to see the football club succeed, but not to the detriment of its existence.
Imploding.
Yeah, exactly, which we know too well about.
Or overachieving and getting too far above your level. Yeah.
Which, only Jay will be able to tell you whether they're ready for that. But you know what? I can see it happening under his tenure. I really can.
Oh, I think it will. It's a matter of time, not if, but when.
Yeah.
That'll definitely happen. No doubt about it. So, listen, Everton are now unbeaten in the last 16 games,
which is the best which is the best running record in all of England right now. Nobody has a better run in games.
Well, you continue that point, then I'll let you take over.
Yeah, all right then.
You've obviously done more homework than I have.
I've stumbled across it. So Atherton are unbeaten in their last 16 games, which is a current record in the England leagues right now. Nobody has a better run right now than them. They're even better than York City, who are in second place. I think they've got 14 games unbeaten. They are 2 points behind Padiham in fifth, but they have 2 games in hand, and winning those 2 could rocket them up to third place. They beat FC Isle of Man 5-1 away at the weekend, and then beat City of Liverpool 3-0 on Tuesday night at Crilly Park. You also have to consider that they lost 7 league games in October and November, so the turnaround in fortune has kind of been, nothing short of miraculous really, but again, is that an expectation that we have on Dave Jones and his team now? Do we expect them to be this good?
But I think the sign of a good manager is when you do go through them lulls, and that was a particularly bad period, October and November.
Yeah.
It was really, really bad, and we were surprised.
Oh, but,
yeah. He's definitely proven his credentials there, because he's managed to turn things around. And even now, if they don't manage to get into the playoffs, You'd have to say he's done a spectacular job.
Well, they're going to make the top 10.
How many games are left? 9, 10?
So for LR, they have 10 games left. Most teams around them have 8. So I think it's only West Didsbury who have the same sort of games played as they do, but they are 5 points behind the LR.
You know, you look at that run there and you say 10 games left. That's 30 points you can accrue in that time.
Yeah.
That's a hell of a lot of points. And who's to say that they can't get at least 2/3 of that? If they get 2/3 of that, they're going to be on 93 points.
They are. They've got to kind of anticipate that teams around them are going to drop points as well. And they've won a lot of games. They've also lost, a fair few as well. They've lost 11. And no team with it, apart from West Didsbury and Bursko, who have played sort of 3 games more than them, there's no team within the top 10 that has lost that many. So from that perspective, could that be their undoing?
Well,
I don't think anything is there.
That October and November period.
It was that October and November.
Probably
but they were
cost them.
finding their feet, weren't they? They're a brand new promoted team. And with that in mind, they're going to go through a bit of a transition phase. They're going to be making changes.
When you hit the buffers, you've got to find a way of navigating around the hurdles. And they've obviously, David Jones has managed to do it. He's proven it time and time again. A young manager with passion and energy, and he's an asset. He's a
star. He's an absolute star.
He'll go down as a legend in Atherton LR's history if he manages to get them promoted via the playoffs. And let's be honest about it; it's probably going to be the playoffs if
I think so.
They do it. But
are they ready for that?
That kind of momentum, I think they are. I think they are. I mean, it's a lovely little setup, isn't it?
It's a gorgeous setup, and they're having stuff done to they've had stuff done to the clubhouse since we've been there. The change rooms are getting revamped now. I think obviously the next step is probably looking at the pitch. And
they got a lovely grandstand, haven't they?
There are some beautiful grandstands.
Traditional.
It's a proper traditional old school grandstand, isn't it? It's big clunky piece of metallic prettiness.
You're trying to think of the right words for it.
I'm just going through all the descriptive words in my head. But whatever happens this season, and I think LR are at least guaranteed top 10. If you'd have offered that to Lynch and Jones before the season started, they'd have said, "Yeah, we'll take that."
And listen, they've got good business partnerships. They've their main sponsor,
Safe Gas UK,
has built. I think it's them that have built the paddle courts there. So that's extra revenue that they're going to be making through there. Everything's set up. Everything is running.
For the football club.
Yeah, it's amazing.
It is. You can't want an institution like that within the town, don't you? And to think they're one of 3 clubs within the little town of Atherton as well.
It's an honest football club. I love honest, traditional non-league football clubs, and it oozes honesty and non-league quintessential. It's just, if it was a chocolate, it would be a truffle.
Classy and soft centre but hard exterior.
But honest. Good old honest.
Why doesn't it cost an absolute sod law to go and see Atherton LR play like it does having a truffle? A truffle will set you back like £1 million.
Yeah, listen, they're getting value for money there. There's absolutely no doubt about it, and we want to see them do well.
Of course we do. We always want to see.
Well, just going back to Wythenshawe. They could blow this, couldn't they? They've gone from a position of looking invincible.
They are starting to wobble a little bit, aren't they?
I'm not saying they will, but
no, they're still like they've lost 2 of their last 6 games. All right, they haven't won in their last 3. Okay, so they are having a little bit of a wobble, but every team kind of.
The phone table's on the back.
I mean, you show me a team that doesn't have this. You show me a team that kind of doesn't have that wobble or that kind of jitter that happens. I mean, I'm just
you just don't know when the wobble's going to happen.
Well, no, I'm just looking at the running now. So Kev Lawton, very very helpful analyst on for the Northwest Counties.
Yeah, big shout out to him.
Shout out to Kev. He set up a run-in, if you like. So
somewhere, yeah.
Sorry.
I did see that somewhere.
Yeah, exactly, yeah. So if you look at Wythenshawe, they've got a bit of a difficult run-in. So they've got Earlham at home, LR at home, okay, West Didsbury and Chorlton at home. So, right. And then they've got the resurgent Remica as well, also in there. Now, don't get me wrong, they've got some sort of slightly easier games to navigate as well. So I would think that they've probably built themselves enough of a buffer that they'll probably see this through with 9 games to go. All right, but I think if you look at the chasing the chasing pack, Chadderton have probably got the easiest run in. Really, they've got Rami, LR, and Earlham left to play. Who I think they would probably consider as being very, very hazardous. Even LR's running isn't the worst. So they've got Pilks, they've got Wythenshawe, Chadderton, Burscough, and Rami before the end of the season. It's not horrendous. It'd probably be enough to kind of get them within touching distance of the playoffs.
Yeah,
but yeah, the way they're looking as well, like you can't really see many of them to kind of get near. Yeah. To kind of get near.
Well, looking at Ramsbottom, their biggest failure this season has been the amount of games that they've drawn, because they're on a par with Atherton and Alar in terms of goals conceded. They've only conceded 38 goals, which is roughly 1 a game.
Yeah.
They've scored 85. It's not the greatest record of scoring, so that's probably why they've drawn so many games. But yeah, it's a really interesting division. I think all 3 divisions have been great.
They have. We've got to say everything about Division 1 North. But yeah, for me, I still think Withy will do it. I think they've got sort of the cleaner running of the sort of the 5 teams that kind of get near them. And I would sort of think that they'll get promoted and they'll be all right.
Yeah,
it's my belief.
Good.
Anyway,
we'll move on to the bottom.
We're going to go to the bottom of the table, and Litherland Remica, who've turned it around like absolutely no tomorrow. So they beat Pilks by, I think it was 4 goals to 1 a couple of weekends ago, and then took a draw against Rami on the Tuesday night. Narrowly beaten 2-1 by Prestwich Hayes on the Saturday, and came within a whisker of beating West Didsbury and Chorlton on Wednesday night. However, a 93rd minute equaliser by West saw it a shared draw, but nonetheless they are now 3 points away from getting themselves off the bottom of the league, and just whisper it, might they even get out of the relegation zone altogether?
I think in terms of, if we're looking at the bottom 2 as definitely being relegated, then I'd say it's a very, very slim chance, because Abbey Hay, they've had a couple of good results as well recently, haven't they?
Yeah, they have.
The only thing I would say to you, I think we mentioned it on last week's show, is that with the Northern Premier League, with Widnes departing before the season started, it makes you wonder whether there'll only be 1 relegation
from the Northern Premier.
Yeah, so if there's only 1 from there, then
there has to only be 1 from.
There'd only have to be counties. 1 relegation from the Premier Division. There'd still be 2 going up, but 1 going straight in it. Yeah. So I don't know. The answer to that is I don't know. I think 14. They've got a couple of games in hand, like you say, so that takes them on to 20.
Yeah.
Yeah. Listen, there is a shout there. There's a possibility that they could catch Abbey A, even Pilks now, and unless Pilks make the right decision now, then they're.
Well, this is it, isn't it?
It's a terrible time to part with your manager at the best of times.
Well, yeah, you've got 7 games left to go, and you're still kind of looking over your shoulder, and it's almost silly to think that you're looking over your shoulder at teams with a 16-point deficit on you. But I think such is the turn down in Pilks' form recently that they have to kind of examine that as a real possibility. So whoever they're gonna get in for the last 7 games of the season has to make sure that the ground is hit running and hit hard. Yeah. Otherwise, this could be curtains for them.
Yeah.
Now then, Division 1... City and Liverpool, back-to-back defeats, the latest on Wednesday night against LR, which they lost by 3 goals to 0. Is described as a much improved performance under the new manager, Sal McGrath. However, with Abbey Hay taking a point from Ramsbottom at the weekend... Was it Ramsbottom? With Abbey Hay securing a draw at the weekend. City of Liverpool are now 10 points adrift of Hay and safety. It was Chadderton, not Rami. Pardon me. Abbey Hay drew with Chadderton at the weekend.
I thought it was Rami.
And Bradley and Jean yet again on the scoreline for the Hay. He's sort of turning into their goal scoring talisman again. Yeah, he scored I think in their last 5 games in which they've scored. I think he's been on the score sheet. Excellent little purple patch for him. But will it be enough for Abbey Hay? I think it will. But for City of Liverpool, I think we continue to speak in so many kind of detriments about how their season has gone that I can only really see them going down, unfortunately. I think all the plaudits to Abbey Hay at this point for sort of getting themselves into a position of safety right now. They've got a bit of a cushion. And some games in hand, so I think they'll be all right. I really do, particularly when you consider that their form is much better than Pilts and City of Liverpool at this point. So Abbey Hay, 2 wins and 2 draws from their last 6 games, and they're unbeaten in their last 3. Even Remy they've lost 2 of their last 6, 3 draws and a win since Steve Scott has come in, I think. And I think he deserves an awful lot of praise for what he's done. I think next season, wherever he is, I think they'll absolutely make a success of it.
Just going back to City of Liverpool there, the 3 goals that they conceded on Tuesday night meant that they've actually conceded 150 goals in 39 games. I've never known that in the history of...
It's about, what is it now, just under 5 a game, that? Jesus.
It's a lot, isn't it?
It is. That's poor. Really poor.
Just under 4 goals a game, isn't it?
Yeah, it
is. It's unbelievable. It's shocking. And I know we've had particularly 2 bad seasons where we've conceded a lot of goals, but I don't think we conceded anywhere near that, did we?
No, we did not. No.
Anyway, let's move on to Division 1 North. So Nelson,
3 points.
3 points ahead of Drogsden at the top of the league with a game in hand.
Yes.
Some of the games in hand have been played recently. 5 wins, a draw in 13 days.
That's asking a lot of the players there, and I know that Aaron Ripley's got the boys on rotation here, so not every player is playing a full 90 minutes every game, although I'm sure Billy Priestley is coming close to it. But nonetheless, they are starting to make good use of those games in hand.
When you look at it, the balance of it, when we were looking back a few weeks ago when they had all those games in hand, how many did they have?
7.
7 games in hand. We looked at the projection and thought if they win all those games in hand, they would go sort of 10 points
10 or
ahead.
11 points clear, yeah.
Now,
6.
we've seen the gap now. The 3 points ahead with only 1 game in hand.
Yes, they are. Yeah, and I think that they've stuttered quite a bit in their games in hand, and I think that probably is owed to just how many games that they've had to play sort of in very close proximity. So yes, they beat Main Road by 5 goals to 4 on Monday night. But then, and they were due to play MSB Walton on the Wednesday, but that was postponed due to more floodlight issues at Little Wembley. But
has that been official? I didn't see that. Again?
Yeah, it is official. Yeah, they beat Daisy Hill by 4 goals to 2 on Saturday, March the 7th. But then they had a costly draw against Steeton on the Thursday night, and I think they lost at the beginning of the week to... Who did they lose to at the beginning of the week? Was it?
But listen, on the balance of things, they've done remarkably well. I mean, when we looked at the league table a while back, the goal difference that they had was
tiny.
It was like 1, wasn't it?
It was,
plus 1. Now they've actually
11.
scored 49 goals.
Yeah, which is the joint. Okay, no, it's not anywhere near close to the top because there are near enough every single team has scored either equal to or more than them within the top 10. And then there's Daisy Hill who've also scored more than them as well. But there's only one team in the league that has conceded less than them. Okay, and that's Droylsden. So what Nelson have been able to do is a solid enough defence.
Old boys, by the way. You look
all right.
Ashton Town have only conceded 31.
Ashton Town have played about 5 games though. Okay, no, they haven't. They've played 24. Fine.
But in that top 10, you're right.
24 is the joint lowest amount of games played in the division. So do you know what? That's fine. But nonetheless, Nelson are starting to improve their goal difference tenfold now. Okay, they're starting to take a bit more of an advantage on it. I don't want to say that they're starting to pull away from the teams ahead of them, but the more that this league plays out, the more I'm seeing it as being a bit more of a 2-horse race now. So Nelson and Droylsden
are really in it.
Yeah, Nelson and Droylsden have played 24 and 25 games respectively. Then you've got MSB Walton in third, who played 26, Darwin 28, Bakerborough 26, and then Squiresgate, McCall, and Cleveley's and Forward Amies all on 27. So I think the division is starting to stretch out in a way that it hasn't done all season. Nobody's going to dominate it, but I think it will be a straight fight between those two teams to see who is going to take first place. That's how I see it happening. I could be wrong.
Yeah, but
that's what it looks like.
We just highlighted Ashton Town. They're in 11th place. They've scored 31 goals and they've conceded 31 goals.
Yeah.
So they've actually conceded the least amount of goals, but also scored the least amount of goals.
Yes, they have.
As well, that's an incredible record, and still to be in 11th place.
I honestly think Mikey Howard is responsible for about half of those goals as well. I think he's sort of carrying their goal scoring.
So that's been their big issue, really, scoring
It
goals,
is,
isn't it?
yeah. To be honest, it has. They are Division 1 North AFC Liverpool, aren't they? Scoring loads of goals, conceding loads of goals, and just not making any consistency.
Not scoring enough, to be
fair.
fair.
Yeah, all right, fine. You get the point. You get what I'm saying, though. If they could just kind of stop conceding quite that.
You're right, though. If you liken it to the AFC Liverpool last season,
this season
they were winning the same amount of games, losing the same amount of games. Yeah. The goal difference was
their undoing is their defence, and I think that is the same for Ashton Town. 9 losses and 5 draws this season, which isn't terrible, but you'd sort of want to say that they've got more in them than that. They've got a lot of sort of funding behind them, a lot of talent on the pitch that we know about already. The Lomax brothers, Connor Reddy, Mikey Howard, that young lad who came over from Garstang, whose name I can never remember. Anyway, so they've got some talent there at the Bartons group, but unfortunately, it's just not matching up to the form table. And I think even this week they weren't exactly set and sorted for 3 points this week. I think they did win against AFC Blackpool, and it was Mikey Howard who scored, but I think it was an awful lot more difficult for them.
Should we move on to the relegation battle?
Oh yes.
So following a mini revival, Ashton Athletic have suffered back-to-back defeats and are only a win ahead of bottom club Main Road,
yes, they
who have a game in hand. They've got 6 games to go, and if they can scramble another 6 points from somewhere, I think their points per game should be enough to keep them safe.
Nobody's going to get relegated this season.
Well, we don't know, do we? But I was going to ask you, do you remember who's applied for the North West Counties?
Who's applied for it?
Was the 2 from the Cheshire League?
No, I think it was one from the Cheshire League. I think it was. I think there was one from each. One from Cheshire, one from Liverpool, and then
the Manchester League. Did they provide one? I don't know.
Manchester.
West Lancashire didn't.
No, West Lancashire don't have any.
And West Cheshire didn't.
And West Cheshire didn't.
But listen,
you just talk amongst yourselves.
Yeah, well, the point I'm making there is that they're probably already safe, to be fair.
I think so.
I would imagine so. Looking at
I'm sort of quite intrigued as to what it's like being Ashton Athletic, because they share their town with a rival footballing club, and it's a small sub area of Wigan.
Where are you going with this?
No. And I think they would probably admit to it themselves that they are the not as successful half of Ashton and Makefield compared to Ashton Town. So what is it like? Do they feel like they're in a shadow? Do they feel like they're at a disadvantage commercially, support-wise?
I think when these rivalries are created, now you'd have to look at the history of both clubs and see who's been going longer than the other.
Yeah.
But a lot of teams start at lower levels, and like the lower Brecks of the world, they end up flying up the leagues and having creating a great history for themselves.
Yeah.
But I think when they started out, they'd have been quite comfortable being in the the Cheshire League or whatever, or the Sunday leagues.
Yeah.
A lot of teams have started out as Sunday leagues and reverted to Saturday teams, and then become passionate and ambitious, and then you want to become a rival to the town team. Then that's that's the way it normally happens. I don't think they start out thinking that they're going to be in the same division and going toe to toe with them. But that's the position that they found themselves in now. Whether they will ever take over the mantle as being the team, the best team in Ashton, remains to be seen. But then it depends who turns up at a game and says, "Oh, I quite fancy redeveloping this ground and putting a bit of money into it." You just never know what could happen.
No, I suppose not.
It's a little bit isolated, Ashton Athletics ground, isn't it, compared to Ashton Town? Ashton Town's plumb in the middle.
Yeah.
Whereas Ashton Athletic
is
in
right on the edge of the countryside, really, isn't it?
Yeah, it's on the other side of the motorway. There's nothing between them and the motorway other than fields and trees, and then right round them, really, there's not a great deal of life, is there?
There isn't.
Bar the sheep and the cows.
The sheep and the cows.
In fact, the corn is probably more alive than the supporters. But I don't know. But listen, people love the football club. There's no doubt about that. But it's always going to be a tough rivalry. Listen, neither club is going to ever be. They're never going to do I can never see them ever doing a lower Breck. Can you?
Not really. No, I think that would be sort of enormously sort of difficult for them. I can't find the application for non-league. I'm looking on non-league maps right now, and I can't for the life of me.
It doesn't matter. I think the point I was making is that there wasn't a lot of applications for Step 6, was there?
No.
So there will be a lot of teams that will survive on lateral movements as well as positioning and points per game ratios. So listen, I don't think Ashton Athletic will go down.
No, I don't.
But that said, Main Road, they've got a game in hand. They've got a superior goal difference. Listen, it could go anyway, but listen, let's have a look at Garstang anyway. So Garstang look as though they've found what they were missing. They've accumulated 11 points in 5 unbeaten games. They were on 15 points at the end of January.
Yeah.
So Guy Heffernan, he's doing a brilliant job there right now.
That's very, very good for him. Yeah, I can't knock his... I can't knock what he's done there. I really can't. And I think it's been kind of excellent going for Garstang in a way that we probably didn't anticipate them doing. So I think Bobby Carter coming back to the club has been enormous for them. He's obviously quite well travelled. He's been at AFC Blackpool. I think he's been at Cleveley's as well. So there's teams in and around that area that he's been a part of, but he's now back at Garstang. I think having Liam Clegg there as well, he's been consistent throughout most of the season. And now Wesley Bajraliu has now also kind of popped in with goals aplenty as well. His 91st minute goal, salvaging a draw against Daisy Hill on Wednesday night. So I think Garstang, who were a team that we beat once and drew with once last season, find themselves in much more competitive territory this time around. Again, another team that won't get relegated, almost guaranteed not to finish bottom, and actually are unbeaten in their last 6 games with 3 wins and 3 draws. So fully credit to Guy Heffernan and his side.
And once again, another honest non-league football club. Love going down there. It's a lovely ground. It's there's not a great deal to it, but it's sort of quintessential non-league football ground. I love the way you see people walking onto the footpath and up onto the tow path on the canal, and I just love the ground. I think it's great.
Yeah, I think my first really good, amazing memory of non-league football was there.
It was a night match as well.
It was that night match as well. The sun was setting as we started the game, and we're 2-1, 3-1 down at half time, and come back to draw 3-3, and we think, maybe we'll get another one. And just everything kind of happened in that match. It's absolutely one of the best non-league memories I've ever had was in Garstang. So fair dues to them, but I hope we're competitive the next time we meet you.
Yeah, so moving on to Division 1 South. Now, I think we've been waxing lyrical about Runcorn Town now for the best part of the season. They've gone on a run of something like 15 consecutive victories in the league, unbeaten in 24 games. You have to go back to August the 16th since Sandbach beat them. Darren Moore and Liam Page are the new Johnson and Morley. How to get them. They've added 6 points to their tally with wins over Stafford 3-1 on Saturday and Wolves Casuals 3-1 on Tuesday night. They're 13 points ahead of Eccleshall, although they have a game in hand. Just 7 games to go. It's hardly likely anyone was going to catch them.
Nah, I don't see anybody catching them. I think they are like Winsford the season before. They're just so incredibly consistent. At beating them or even taking a point off them is so difficult because of the way that Moore and Page have got them set up. And I think they're fully worth their salt for the title, and I think they'll be very, very competitive in the Premier League next season, and I'm reasonably assured that they will get there.
Are we entirely sure that they're going to make the Northern Premier League? The North West Counties Premier League, and not the
Midlands.
I mean,
that's a big question.
Did Martin mention anything that on the show when we spoke to him, Martin Fallon?
No. With that being said, Runcorn Linnets obviously came in through the Midland League, didn't they? Or did they come?
No, I think they eventually came through the
counties.
Yeah.
That's interesting. Well, given Runcorn's positioning, you'd want to think that they'd be North West Counties based, but it's right on that sort of dodgy cusp where they could end up being in the Midlands, and that could make life really difficult for them. But yeah, I kind of hope that they'll stick around in the North West Counties. It'd be brilliant to see them, facing up against kind of, sort of giants that we've got in the North West Counties Prem. I think the Midland, judging by how well each team that we saw that is in the Midland Prem, i.e. Winsford and Abbey Hulton. So Abbey Hulton are in the playoffs in the Midland Prem. Winsford are 2 positions below.
Right.
Okay, so very competitive, but they've kind of made it. I don't want to say they've made it look easy, but they've succeeded far more than I anticipated. And I think the Midland League is probably a slightly easier league to get.
We had a guest on the show that hinted that if you've got money to spare and you can afford the extra travelling, then you'd sooner go into the Midlands League to be ambitious and win the league.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know how true that is, and that obviously you don't want to be too derogatory or disrespectful
of
the Midland League.
No.
They're all tough in their own way, aren't they?
Yeah.
So listen, it's been a really difficult period for Telford Town since the departure of Matty Boswell. But they did manage to halt a 6-match run of defeats with a really good 2-2 draw against Barn.
Yeah, it's a
nice
really positive result for Telford. Yeah, they've arrested the proverbial slide. I think they were even sort of winning at one point. They got off the mark after 12 minutes through Jordan Jones. Barnton equalised. Telford took the lead again through Tom Hill just after the hour mark, but James Sigsworth got the goal for Barnton, which proved to be the equaliser. Nonetheless, that's a really positive point for Telford at a time when they just need all the positives that they can get. It's been a really difficult second half of the season for them, and it does, like I say, arrest the slide. They are in 8th place. They are 9 points ahead of Barnton, a couple of games in hand on Barnton themselves as well. I don't think they'll make the playoffs, but I think now is just kind of...
no, there's 6 points, 5 points off the 6 points off the playoffs now.
They are 6 points off the playoffs. I think it'll be too difficult for them. That being said, though, I think that what they need to do now is just, I don't want to say damage limitation, but I think you just want to find as many positives out of this, second half of the season as you can. So fair play to Telford, because I know that they're doing all that they can at this point.
So we're going to look at the bottom of the table now, and we're going to look at what I was going to say to you is now Wolverhampton Sporting Casuals dropped out of that league, so technically Sporting Community, they dropped out of that division, so one assumes that there's only one relegation spot anyway now. If that,
to be honest, because it's Division 1 South, isn't it? So it's rare that you get two teams relegated.
Well, Hormond, they've only scored, they've only got 15 points as it stands now.
Well, yeah, that's sort of almost double what we got last season, and I think we were one of very few teams to actually get relegated. To my mind, I think Hormond will have... I think they'll finish bottom with Hormond, but I think they've done enough to keep themselves in the division. But it will be very interesting to see how Division 1 South is marked out next season, because
we still don't know whether Flixton or Witness are going to get a leg up into the North West County.
No,
we just don't know.
No, there's a lot of unanswered questions here, and with your thinking cap on, one assumes that Flixton would be in Division 1 North, Widnes in Division 1 South, and maybe that opens up... I don't even know if that would open up one spot for relegation. To my mind, it would work with 20 teams in South, 20 teams in North. I think that's the way that this would work out, personally. But with that in mind, then you've kind of got to ask the question about whether it's worth relegating Hormond at this point.
Well, I think we know that the FA have probably got bigger fish to fry in terms of what they're doing with the restructuring of the league from 17 leagues to 24. Yeah. Hopefully, at step 6, that is, hopefully by the beginning of the 27-28 season.
That's right.
So I don't think they'll be looking at making the numbers up to 20. I think if the numbers do get made up to 20, it will be based on lateral movement rather than promotion. But listen, we'll see. So listen, second from bottom, Shawbury, they didn't make up any ground at all on Alsager. Alsager lost 2-1 to New Mills, but Shawbury got battered 5-2 by Wolves Casuals. Matty Boswell still got a lot of work to do.
Yeah, he does. It would depend what players are available at that point, whether he's had any injuries or any absences, anything like that. But you consider that he's only been in charge really for, half a season. 6 wins, 2 draws, 19 losses. It's not brilliant by any stretch. But I think it's still kind of building to next season where, maybe they'll be a slightly bigger force. Right now, I think he's just trying to take as many positives out of this season as what he can do. He's got 7 games left of this season, and I think his team are reasonably safe from relegation. They just kind of want to, finish as high up in the league as they can. It's not insurmountable that they could finish in 14th position at this point and overtake at least 3 of the teams above them. And I think, you would want to hope that that's where he's aiming for.
Yeah. Well, listen, that concludes the Northwest Counties.
Yeah.
We'll move to other news around the league. Start with Bury. Bury suffered the first defeat under Anthony Johnson at the weekend when they lost 2-0 to Vauxhall Motors.
Yeah.
Jono's gone on record as saying he would learn more about his squad when they lost a game. So we'll be looking for a reaction from his players when they take on Kidsgrove at their place on Saturday.
Yeah. Not a brilliant performance by them, and I think it was Kevin Ellison what popped up with one of the goals for Motors, which you find to be.
He's about 485 now, isn't he?
He is, yeah. I think he's practically mummified. No, we're joking, Kev.
He's fitter than the two of us.
Oh, he's absolutely amazing.
He's
absolutely extraordinary play. So yeah, he's contributed towards that. So it just makes it all the more interesting up there at the top of the league. Yeah, so there's
Avro lost as well on Saturday 2-1 on the road to Stirlingbridge. They made amends on Tuesday night when they beat Newcastle 2-0.
Yep.
That was one of their 2 games in hand.
Yep.
They're now a point off Bury, so it's still in their hands.
It is still all in their hands. Yeah, they could. I'm not saying that they will, but they could. I mean, you got 42 games of a regular season, so they're down to like the last 8 by the end of play at the weekend. There's still a lot that could move and shake between now and then. For my mind, I'm kind of throwing it back to what Andy said a couple of weeks ago. I still think Bury are going to kick on, and I think they will win this league. I really honestly do.
Yeah, I hope they do, to be perfectly honest with you. But we'll have to wait and see, won't we?
I suppose so, yeah. I think I just want to mention Bootle. A couple of weeks ago we talked that Bootle could make a crash into the playoffs. They were just a couple of points outside of it. They've now gone without a win in their last 3 games since that. So they lost a couple of weeks ago, and then they've drawn their last 2 games, which means that they are now 6 points away from the playoffs. So they drew with Congleton last Saturday, they drew with Vauxhall Motors on the Tuesday night, and then they lost to Witten Albion on the 28th of February. So it has been a bit of a wobble.
Well, they've got a really difficult game at the weekend against Chasetown,
and then they've got Chasetown at the weekend. Chasetown 1 place and 4 points behind Bootle themselves, and who have also experienced a bit of a bounce of late, beating Clitheroe on Saturday by 2-0. So they're sort of coming into that one with far more higher hopes than Bootle themselves.
And Lower Breck, Runcorn, Linnet and Vauxhall still in the range. Should the top 2 make any mistakes. Breck managed to beat Sporting Calcer. 4-3 at the weekend to get back to winning ways. They're now they're at home to Nantwich Town this weekend, which is a game that they should win.
You would think so, yeah. Nantwich in 9th place,
just to keep that pressure on.
Yeah, exactly. I think it's all about keeping the pressure on at this point, and kind of they've got 1 game in hand on Bury, and even if they win that, it takes them to within a point of it. So it's all still with Bury. All you can do really is just wait for Bury to slip up if you are Breck. If you're Avro, it's a different story. But for Breck, you kind of you're at you kind of at minimal consolidating your playoff position, and then hoping for more from that one. Do we think that Breck are running out of gas a little bit though? Yeah. Okay.
Gas, money,
money as well, huh?
Yeah. Listen, I mean, one man there. Gary Moore's keeping it all together. I think that's a big task, big hard job for anyone. The pressure at that level of football is huge. We know what it's like at this level, so God only knows what it's like. And then you've got to keep paying players. You've got to keep your best players there. And there's going to come a point where that squad he's going to have to. And he probably has tinkered around with it and added a little bit, but that squad is growing older, and eventually he's going to have to make bigger changes. So it's timing, really. I mean, it's one of those sometimes when you see a team that is a really good team at the top of its game, they come into the end of their sort of best years.
Their era.
And I just worry that with Lower Breck that maybe some of these players are coming to the best of they've come to the end of their best years, and a promotion again now would be a huge step for them.
Yeah,
I know the facilities are getting improved, by the way.
Yeah, they've had a new
stand being put in, so they're obviously going to fit the criteria to move up, and then any other adjustments that they have to make. Then I think they've got until March 31st next year. To improve again. But listen, it's not easy. Listen, they've done a tremendous job to come from where they've been in a very short period of time since they were formed. It's an amazing success story. And if you were doing a rags to riches non-league documentary, then you'd pick Gary Moore and Lower Breck. But listen, let's move a division up and talk about Prescott Cables. Without a point in February, Prescott managed to secure a 2-2 draw at Hyde United over the weekend, but they are only 2 points above the drop zone.
That's Cleggie's Hyde United as well, so that's pulled them right into the relegation mix. As well. So
Hyde have been dragged back in.
Hyde have been dragged back in, So, and with Workington actually having been unbeaten in their last 3 games, that's put the cat amongst the pigeons all the more. So Workington are still bottom, but only by 3 points. Then you've got Morpeth also on 30 points as well. Stocksbridge Park Steels on 31 points, and then Cables and Hyde on 33 each, and then Rush Olympic on 36. And even Whitby on 38 probably still can't count themselves quite out of it just yet. So it's going to be massive down at the bottom.
Yeah, and Prescott, of course, they play fellow strugglers Rushall Olympic at Hope Street on Saturday. A win will see them go above the Olympic mark, if you like, but with 8 games going to the end of the season, Steve Daly will be trying to desperately squeeze every last drop of energy out of those players. It'd be great to see them survive so that they can rebuild in the close season, but it looks really, really
rebuilding in any division, particularly when you've just about survived by the skin of your teeth, is horrible, because you've got to get it right from the off, really. Otherwise you're on a hiding to nothing. So I can't imagine the pressure that Steve Daly is under right now.
Drop budgets. Listen, whether they can increase that budget and bring better players in next season remains to be seen. This seems to be on an annual basis now where they're struggling financially. Listen, we don't expect miracles from clubs like that. They've probably reached pitching above their level now in terms of where their comfort zone is. You've got to get deep pockets to help them out if they can. That's the only way that they're going to sustain football regularly at that level without trying too hard. I'm forever progressing further up, but I don't see it happening, unfortunately, unless somebody comes along and throws a lot of money at it. And there's nobody's that lucky.
No, they're not, unfortunately. Otherwise, we'd have probably done it ourselves. Anyway,
moving on to Marine. It's been a pretty tough time for Marine in recent weeks. They've lost 3 league games, 1 before the fantastic cup run, and 2 since.
One of those was Macclesfield, though.
Well, that's the latest one. I think they lost 4-2.
They did.
So listen, they'll be hoping to return to winning ways when they entertain Worksop Town at the Marine Travel Arena this weekend.
I think they will.
Just 4 points and 5 places separate the 2 teams, so it's a good opportunity for Marine to sort of shake off this. I don't know when the next round of the semi-finals of the FA Trophy are, but should have looked at that.
End of this month, is it?
Yeah, it'll be around about the 28th, I think.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. So
listen, they need to shake that off. Whereas in complete contrast, let's talk about Southport. Southport's FA Trophy semi-final against Woking is set for a 5,600 sellout. I think it's sold out all.
It has already, yeah.
Absolutely amazing.
Unbelievable.
But they've managed to garner all that success, and have added to, with 2 league victories since they triumphed over Yeovil. They beat Peterborough Sports 1-0 the week before last.
Yep.
as we mentioned on the show. And then they followed it up with a 2-0 win over Spennymoor Town on Saturday. They are now on 45 points and in 16th place. Now, normally we talk about 40 points as being that threshold where
for the Premier League,
for safety. So I think it's all looking good there. And they face relegation-threatened Alfreton Town this Saturday at Hague Avenue. It seems to be success after success for Southport.
It does for now. I just don't want them to get carried away too much. I know they're on an absolute high, but it could all come crashing down on them with 1 or 2
By
games.
all accounts, though, everybody's saying the same thing about Southport. It's work in progress, but it's probably hitting... It's doing the business now.
It is doing the business
ahead of its time.
And the thing is, we said that it would. I think we firmly backed Neil Dance to be able to kind of bring this project to life and to success. He just needed time and some financial backing, and he's been able to get both of them now, and he's pulled them firmly away from relegation. I don't think that they've been under threat from relegation for about 4 or 5 months now. And I think now what we're seeing is kind of the fruits of the labour. They've got an enormous opportunity against Woking to make it to Wembley. I think relegation's not really something that they should be thinking about, really. I think all they're going to want to do now is just shoot up the table as much as they can and try and catch Marine.
Yeah, are we going to go to the final?
If either of them make it to the final, I think we should go.
Yeah, most definitely.
There we go.
Listen, we'll move on to Controversial Corner, and listen, the lead story is Avro versus Kidsgrove, and it's over to AJ.
Because I'm the...
AJ loves this story.
I'm the legal correspondent amongst the two.
Yes.
So, you may remember, and who doesn't really, that the league match between Avro and Kidsgrove in October was abandoned due to an enormous overspill of violence both on the pitch and in the stands. After 4 months and 4.5 months of trial and tribulation, the investigation has finally been concluded, and I read the report. It was 22 pages long. It included
War and Peace.
Exactly. Included Kidsgrove Town as a club plus 4 of their players and staff, each of whom had to go back to back in the investigation proceedings. So it was a very long read, but ultimately the findings are this. The result will be upheld, which means it goes down as an Avro win over Kidsgrove by 6-0. Kidsgrove, as a club, have been fined £850.
Wow.
That's quite a lot of money. Okay, that's that's about a month's worth of
enough to piss
budget.
Your chairman off.
Yeah, that's about a month's worth of budget for us at some point.
Yeah.
Anyway, and then 4 members of their playing and coaching staff as well: Oliver Jepson, Tom Pope, Sean Rhodes, and Woolridge. I've forgotten his name.
Well, we know what you're talking about. But...
have all been handed bans and fines. So Sean Rhodes has been given a 6-game ban and a £220 fine.
Is that a touchline or stadium ban?
I think Sean Rhodes isn't Sean Rhodes a player, or is he?
Oh, so it'll just be a ban.
Yeah, so I think
they don't ban the players like they ban the managers, do they?
Well, no, but
they give them stadium bans.
No, they give managers them, but they don't do it to players. No. So yeah, that's for. Who am I talking about here? Sean Rhodes, yeah. So Sean Rhodes, 6-game ban and a £220 fine. Aaron Woolridge, suspended for 10 games for his part in the disorder and a £220 fine. Oliver Jepson has been given a 5-game ban and a £220 fine. And then Tom Pope has been fined £220 and has also been given a 10-game ban. 5 games banned from the stadium, 5-game ban from the touchline. Strangely enough, Avro have not been given any punishment at all for any part whatsoever in it.
Which was bizarre.
That's a very unusual outcome of it, but that is the outcome of it. So I doubt very much either team is going to appeal this. I've certainly not heard of any.
No, it costs to do it, and
it does.
I don't think Kids Grove can appeal the decision, can they?
No,
they can, but they won't get anything out of it. Reduced bans, maybe. I don't know.
Well, potentially, but even so, would you want to go through all that again? I doubt it.
Well, Andy Barlow got a 7-match stadium ban, didn't he, last season?
8, I think.
7.
Was it 7?
Definitely 7. Yeah. Tommy got a 5.
Yes, he did.
Which was reduced to 3 on appeal.
Yeah.
So we did appeal that, and he got reduced.
Well, you appealed Chimbondas a couple of seasons ago.
Yeah, that was a 5-match
stadium.
5-match stadium ban. We got that reduced to 3-match stadium ban.
Was it 3 stadium or 3 touchline?
I think it was. I know it was touchline. I think.
Or was it?
Because I remember him sitting in the stand in one game. So yeah, it must have been.
There you go.
Must have been a touchline ban. Yeah, so they might appeal the severity of the bans.
They might do,
but I don't think they get very far with that.
They probably won't. No, I mean, given that.
I don't think they should. I don't think they should appeal it. But when it's so blatantly obvious that you've made huge whopping mistakes, I don't think you should be appealing it at all. I think you're taking the game further into disrepute because but what you're saying is I don't deserve the punishment. No. Well, you quite clearly do. So no sympathy for them whatsoever.
Yeah, no, I think here.
I wouldn't sympathise. I wouldn't sympathise if I had acted the same way. Andy, anybody for that matter, you would say the same thing. You brought the game into disrepute. You could have caused serious harm to innocent bystanders, people that were surrounded in that melee.
You made a tit of yourself.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah, well, no, you did, and but you would. I've not seen anywhere, and correct me if I'm wrong, but I've not seen any official apology from Kids Grove at all.
No, I haven't actually, and that's actually a real shame.
Well, I mean, if they haven't apologised anywhere on social media, then it shows a sign of arrogance, doesn't it?
Or ignorance.
Yeah, both. But anyway, less said about them. That you put that to bed, and hopefully they'll learn the lessons and they won't do it again. But listen, it won't all be bad.
Can only cost fingers.
Moving on to Main Road.
Road.
They're looking for a new chairperson and new board members. Some of you may remember that one of our previous guests, Kane Duncan, was on the cusp of taking the chairperson's role back in March 2025. But for some reason, it didn't happen, but it's clear to see that the current custodians have been searching for at least a year. When we look at the naysayers and critics of non-league football, we can also use this saga as an account of how hard it is to find volunteers even at Main Road's level. There aren't many people offering the services, but I wish them the best of luck.
Yeah, of course. They're a club that's steeped in, history and a great association with Manchester City Football Club. Obviously, we've been to Brantingham Road, a great little pitch and venue full of sort of quite nice people from what we saw. Some great prospects from Main Road on the pitch as well. Just been a really unfortunate season for them. They've not hit the heights anywhere near as to what they wanted. But they've been after a chairperson and volunteers before, so you've
that's what I'm saying. Stretching back at least a year.
Yeah, exactly. So you've got to wonder how they're surviving, really.
Well, if I'd come to the end of my, not the end of me tether, but if I'd decided, you could easily do that. But if I'd decided that I was going to walk away and give everybody the opportunity to replace me, within the club, and it doesn't happen, and you're waiting forever and ever and ever.
Yeah,
you've got to be prepared to do that, haven't you? And I suppose that whoever's running the football club now, you've got to give huge credit and kudos to, because they've been extremely patient.
They have been extremely patient.
But I think they've also accepted that they've taken the club as far as they can go.
And they need
they feel
fresh
like they
approach,
need fresh
doesn't
blood,
it? Yeah. But you could ask the question about why why they're not supported, because they're sat right in the middle of an enormous residential area.
Yeah, but then you've got that many non-league football clubs in there. You know, we're talking about another club now that's trying to raise money for a 3G pitch.
Yeah.
Abbey Hay, they've raised around about £450 of £100,000 project.
Getting through it.
Yeah, but you know what I'm saying to you is it's difficult. It's a difficult neck of the woods to ply your trade. It really is. We think we've got it bad here.
Yeah, well, we're very lucky, actually. I mean, we've got our own town. We've got 40,000 people who, you know, we could sort of rope into, you know, if they felt so interested to do it.
Smaller borders, aren't they, in Manchester? You fall out of one place into another.
Well, yeah, you've got Main Road, and then you've got West Didsbury and Chorlton, the two Wythenshawe clubs, like right on your doorstep there. And then you've got Earlham a little bit sort of further up the road.
You've just got so many teams. Listen, you could list them off. The ones that are in the Northern Premier League, the ones that are in the National League. Yeah, you know, if you consider Stalybridge a little bit further out, and you know,
Salford.
Salford were originally, weren't they?
Yeah, they were. Yeah, all right. There's a Flixton. There's a lot of teams kind of buzzing in and around that. But even it's such a big residential area. They're technically set up perfect for a large following, but it's just not there. It's not there.
You can actually hear. You can actually hear the roars from both I think it's from or United. You can hear the roar from one of the grounds at Main Road the night time. If you're there and there's a Champions League going on, and I know it's relatively quiet at Old Trafford. There's not an awful lot of noise there. They're not as passionate as some fans in the country are.
Shut up!
I'll come in for stick for that, but no. Yeah, I think you can hear. The profanity now is on a new level since we were caught out for saying piss.
Honestly,
you know,
that's it. Now we've just got to. We say this is no longer suitable for all family members.
We're not going to use the F words or the T words, though. We're still gentlemen, aren't we?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So listen, moving on to the last controversial part of the subject.
Yeah, and this is one that we didn't really want to report, but obviously it's now made the news in quite a lot of areas, so we feel that we have to. And this is that former Marine Prescott Cables and City of Liverpool manager Kevin Lynch was named as the person with whom Joey Barton allegedly attacked on Sunday outside the Huyton and Preston Golf Club. Barton has been remanded in custody until the court hearing in a month. If found guilty, he faces a lengthy prison sentence. Varying stories, but the most prominent one is that Barton was allegedly struck by a bat, which he managed to get hold of and retaliated with force. Whatever has happened here clearly looks awful, with Lynch seriously hurt with life-changing injuries. When are people going to learn violence just isn't worth all of this consideration when you're entering into a disagreement, kind of whatever happens? Because, I mean, look at the pair of them now, one with life-changing injuries and one with potentially life-changing circumstances going on just after he's been ordered to pay £300,000 for a libel suit that went against him as well. I mean, listen, the pair of them.
He's gone through a very, very tough period of his life. A lot of it is self-inflicted, as we know. Joey Barton's a law unto himself, and it doesn't matter who it is, and it doesn't matter for what reasons. I seen a video today, I think it was, where two people were outside a London college or school brandishing machetes or really big knives, and they were launching it at each other. I don't think they made contact, but then for some reason they got spooked and they moved on. And I thought to myself, I was hoping at that stage, I was thinking, whilst they're doing all this jousting with each other and trying to hurt each other, have they thought for a moment that, you know, did you go out at the beginning of the day thinking that you could... I would have stopped in my tracks and I'd have said, listen, we didn't come out here today to have this kind of, interacting this kind of violence. So one of us could lose our life today, and I just don't think people give it long enough before. And listen, we assume that alcohol was involved in this. There'd been a bit of a drinking session, what have you, allegedly. But yeah, it's not right that people. It's not right that people take life for granted so easily. And I do wonder that if all of this is true about Joey Barton, whether Joey Barton's feeling he's in the last chance saloon anyway, and he's just gone, sod it.
I don't know. I don't really know what runs through his.
He's a really bright bloke, and he's a good podcaster when he's talking sense, and he's not firing off at the whole world. He's an intelligent bloke.
Yeah,
he's a really intelligent bloke, and I just feel as though, the things that have happened past in his life. The first thing that happened that we were most noted was when he tried to stub a cigar out
in a kid's eye.
In a kid's eye in the youth academy at Manchester City. Was it Jamie Tandy? Was it someone like that?
Yeah,
James. I forget his name now. Tandy. He's come from a tough working class environment in Huyton. The rule of the land there is you've got to look after yourself. Mm-hmm. You've got to be handy.
But he's not.
But not everybody that left Huyton ended up doing time. A lot of people have made good lives, good, honest people. There's a lot of good, honest people there. Some of my family live in Huyton, and they're the loveliest people you'd ever wish to meet. And unfortunately, I do feel at times though he's brought the reputation of Huyton right down to a level that he shouldn't have done. Stephen Gerrard, I think, hailed from the same place, chalk and cheese. But it's not good, and it's certainly not good for Kevin Lynch, because the story is that it looks like he's going to lose the sight in one eye. He might possibly lose his eye. There was a lot of blood involved, and it's not looking it's not looking particularly good for him. But listen. Lessons for everybody to be learned there. Violence is not the answer. But listen, that concludes the controversial corner.
Yep, so
I think before we talk to Skem, we'll look at our predictions. But listen, we'll talk about last week's predictions, and of course the fact that in first place on this particular week with 33 points is AJ.
Normal service is resumed.
2 points behind. I'm going to just recount 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Honestly, you sound like a reform candidate. I want to recount.
13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31. Yeah, I can't find another 2 to even come close here. But listen, well done, AJ, because it's the first win you've had in a few weeks now, isn't it? So, he's recounting his now, just in case he's overcounted or undercounted. Go on, speak amongst yourselves. So listen, we're going to look at the predictions.
Nope, 33.
33.
We're all right. It's confirmed. Yeah, but that's pretty high scoring.
I noticed listen, if this was on video now, I noticed the way you were counting. Your finger landed on the same spot 3 times.
I'm a very visual person. Yeah.
Anyway, let's move on to the predictions. Of course, tonight we record Thursday night, and there's a game in the Premier Division.
That's AFC, already kicking off.
Sorry, yeah, Abbey Hay versus AFC Liverpool. I'm going for
Liverpool.
Oh, you know what? I'm going for Abbey Hay. I think Abbey Hay might just do that and put a bit more distance between them and the rest. Yeah. Fine. So, First Division South, Foley-Mere versus Eccleshaw. I'm going for Eccleshaw.
Eccleshaw.
Saturday, Edward Case Cup semi-finals. Darwin versus Stockport Georgians. I think Stockport Georgians are just about.
Do you know what? I fancy Stockport Georgians as well. Yeah.
Nelson versus Runcorn Town. I really don't know which way to call this one, but I think Runcorn Town might do the business.
Do you know what? I honestly think that they will as well. Particularly with the volume of games that Nelson have had. I think that really is going to count against them as well. If you are where Nelson are, do you want promotion via automatic promotion and winning the league, or do you want to win the Edward Case Cup? I'd say,
yeah.
I mean, Runcorn are sort of quite lucky because they've almost got Division 1 South sewn up, so they can afford to, see if they can venture into winning the double here.
Day out, a little bit less pressure for them.
Where do you play when you're at the Edward Case Cup final?
I don't know where the finals play, to be honest with you. I mean, I know the Macron Cup.
Lancashire FA, isn't it?
It used to be played at Berry's football ground, Gig Lane, many years ago. Where's it played now? Well, good question. Let's find out where the finals play.
There we go. But I've gone for Runcorn Town anyway.
Yeah.
So I think the Edgar Case Cup final will be between Runcorn Town and Stockport Trojans.
Premier Division on Saturday, starting with Atherton LR versus Pilks. I'm going for Atherton.
The LR.
Barnsley Town versus Cheadle Town. I'm going for Cheadle.
Draw.
Bearscough versus Stockport Town. I'm going for Bearscough. Exton Villa versus Padiham. FC St Helens versus Ramsbottom. I'm going to go for a draw.
Yeah, I'm going to... Do you know what? I'm still going to root for Wilkes. So I'm going to say Rami. I just want Wilkes to succeed. I just love him.
Glossop North End versus Abbey Hay.
Glossop North End.
Yeah. Remy versus Charnock Richard.
Draw. No, do you know what? No. Remy to win. I'm going to go for Remy win.
I'm going Charnock Richard. Longridge Town versus West Didsbury and Chorlton. I'm going to go for West Didsbury.
So am I.
Prestwich Hayes, City of Liverpool. Prestwich Hayes. South Liverpool versus AFC Liverpool. I think that one will be a draw. I'm
going South Liverpool, me.
Yep. Listen, I'd love to have our ground at South Liverpool. Because it's right on Otterspool Dock.
Oh,
and
honestly.
I could have my breakfast every pre-game
fallen in love with that little bit.
I love the setup, it's great.
And it's one bar that's done it for you. Or one sort of pubby, restauranty place that you're just so enamoured with.
Yeah, I love it.
So you can sip your black
Jericho Lane. I love the name, Jericho Lane as well.
Oh, God, I don't know about that. I've been there before, but I was playing rugby. Yeah.
Have you gone for the draw, have you?
I've gone for a home win. I think South Liverpool will do it.
Okay. Wythenshawe versus Earlham. Tough game, but I think Wythenshawe will just about pick that.
So will I.
FC Alaman. So will I. FC Alaman versus Chadderton. I'm going for Chadderton.
Chadderton, yes.
First Division North, AFC of Blackpool versus Fullwood Amateurs. Fullwood Amateurs for me. Bakeup Borough versus Main Road. I'm going for Bakeup Borough. Combe versus Droylsden. Holker Old Boys versus Thornton Clevelands. I'm going for a draw.
Holker.
McGull versus Ashton Town. I think Ashton Town will pick them.
Oh, no. For God's sake. Yeah, McGull.
You go for McGull. Right. So Squires Gate versus Daisy Hill.
Squires Gate.
Well, Daisy Hill are doing pretty well at the moment. They're up into 6th place in the form table, so I'm going to say it's going to be a really, really close one now. But I think Daisy Hill just pip it.
Big congrats to Squires Gate. They got Club of the Month from the North West Counties. I think it's a fair play to them. Interestingly enough, Daisy Hill were a very recent recipient of the Non-League Review podcaster and videographer who went round their ground.
And he wasn't very complimentary.
He left before the game ended. That was how bad it was.
And they normally go on about how great their pies were, and he wasn't particularly.
No, he wasn't.
Enamored with them.
And I think he got saved. I think it was saved by the brown sauce or the gravy or something like that. Just about saved the pie. It wasn't that good, from what he said.
It's not the story it's set out to be, is it, Daisy?
It's not at the minute, no. Even though he visited at a time when it was still the Ginge Power Stadium, so it should have had all of this investment come in and everything like that. Just doesn't look like it has, unfortunately. No.
It had to self-finance itself, though, because he was never going to stick his hands in his pockets, was he?
No, of course he wasn't.
No. Anyway, First Division South, Barleton versus Sandbach. Going for Sandbach.
Sandbach.
Market Drayton versus New Mills.
New Mills.
Going for New Mills. Shawbury United versus Cheadle Heath Nomads.
Yeah, I'm minded to say the Nomads at this point, and it's not really a slight on Boz because we like him, but I just think the Nomads have just got a bit more to them for this.
I'll go for a draw.
Fine.
Stafford Town versus Alderscott Heath. I'm going to go for Stafford Town. Telford versus Foley-Mere. Wolverhampton Casuals versus Asheville. I would normally have said straight away Asheville, but considering that Wolverhampton Casuals...
Bit of a run, aren't they?
Yeah, they're doing extremely well. They've managed to get themselves... Remember, they were pretty much in a relegation fight themselves.
They were
at one stage, but now they've won 3. They've won 3, drawn 3 in the last 6 games.
Some of them beaten in 6.
Yeah, but they've lost the last 2 games. So I don't know. Where am I going to go with? I'm just going to. Yeah, I'm going to go for Asheville.
So am I. Yeah.
Premier Division on Tuesday. Chedderton versus Barnsley. Town over Chedderton. Cheadle Town versus Exton Villa.
Draw.
Cheadletown versus Exton Villa. Whoa, I'm just thinking of that one. Exton Villa, Cheadletown. I'm looking at the wrong bloody table, that's why I can't see. Yeah, I know. It's twice I've been called a Pillock tonight, I'm sure. What have you gone for?
I've gone for a draw.
Yeah, sounds like a good shout, that. But I'm going to go with the home team. I'm going to go Cheadletown.
Mm-hmm.
Prestwood Chase versus Earlham. I'm going for Earlham. Ramsbottom versus West Didsbury. Oh, crikey.
Ramsbottom. And again, that's more my personal head talking because I just want Rami to see it over the line. So, yeah.
I'll go for Rami. But listen, game of next week has got to be Wythenshawe versus Atherton LR.
The form team versus the top team.
Yeah.
Quite an amazing heavyweight fixture on that Tuesday night. And I am going for a draw.
It's a huge yardstick, isn't it?
It's a massive one for LR.
And it's one they won't want to lose because that record that they've got now. Like
if that carries on to 17 games by virtue of them winning at the weekend against Pilks, which I'm hopeful that they will do, they've then got all the momentum and all the confidence going into Tuesday night. I just think Tuesday night at Avonshaw Community is a different type of animal. And
I'm going for Wythenshawe.
Okay. Well, I will say a draw. I'm still keeping some semblance of faith.
Yeah. First Division North, Ashton Town versus Nelson. Going for Nelson.
Nelson.
Drowsden McGill. Drowsden for me. Thornton Cleveland's versus MSB Walton, the two promoted teams.
No. Thornton Cleveland's.
Sorry, not Thornton. Yeah.
Sausage.
I mean, relatively.
It's Cleveland's versus Walton again.
I'm going for a draw.
Yeah, I mean. Again, if Thornton Cleveland's can keep Daniel Venter quiet. He's 40, by the way.
Who?
Danny Venter.
Is he?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, he's been around for ages.
Well, yeah, exactly. I had no idea about this. I thought he was like a young buck, but he's not. He's he's older than me. And he's still like absolutely killing it in Division 1 North. Fair play to the guy. I will say a draw there.
Yeah, you're going with me. Holker Old Boys versus AFC Blackburn. I'm going for Holker. Tuesday, First Division South, Foley-Mare versus Runcorn Town. I'm going for Runcorn Town. Yeah. Stockport Georgians versus Horman. Going for Stockport Georgians. So on Tuesday, the 17th of March, it's the Staffordshire Senior Cup quarter-final. Stafford Rangers versus Wolverhampton Casuals. Going for Stafford Rangers.
So am
I. Back to the Premier Division on Wednesday, AFC Liverpool versus Longridge.
Draw.
Yeah, I'm looking at that in AFC Longridge. Yeah. Right, I'm going with the home team. I'm going for AFC Liverpool. First Division North on the Wednesday. Garstang versus Squires Gate. I think that will be a draw.
I've gone Squires Gate.
Baker Borough versus Ashton Athletic.
Baker Borough
will win that one.
The Brian Boys Westview Stadium.
Yeah. First Division South. Eccleshall versus New Mills. Going for Eccleshall. Telford Town versus Allscott Heath. I think Allscott Heath.
So am I.
Yeah, which concludes the predictions.
Season predictions
for the week ahead.
Yeah.
The weekend and the week ahead. May the best
team
man win, and hopefully I'll get back to winning ways. I feel really confident after my predictions there. We're just going to store them, hide them away where they can't be seen. Mothball them until next week. There you go.
Attaboy. Yeah, you keep them there. I keep them in the armrest of my car.
Yeah,
that's where they stay.
Well, yeah, it's better than keeping them there on the table so I can throw them away.
Yeah,
which you've done before.
Anyway,
listen, let's talk about
Skelmersdale United
Football Club. So, as you know, two wins in 3 games. We managed to win 3-0 on Saturday.
Yes, we did,
and we also kept the first clean sheet that I can't remember last time we did.
It's the first time we've kept a clean sheet since I've been at the club.
Yeah,
which is almost 2 years now.
It's a lifetime ago, yeah.
It is, yeah. Well, yeah. Exactly.
I think the last time that we might have had a draw. I'm just trying to think. The last time we drew 0-0, I think it might have been against.
I think you're probably going back to Premier Division Northwest Counties.
Sorry, when we didn't score. Yeah, because we were specialists. Really, we didn't. We were the only team. I'm talking about draws now. Forget the draws, but.
Draw specialists, huh?
We had. I think we had a record where we'd not drawn a game for nearly 2 seasons.
That's fantastic.
So in terms of the last time we didn't concede, I just can't remember how far back it was.
There you go.
And it might be right. It
says enough, doesn't it? But it was an excellent game, really was, and a reasonably polished performance by the team. A lot of players who stood out kind of individually and as a collective 11. So
it was nice to see Ellie get off the mark, wasn't it?
Oh, it was. What a relief that was for him.
What a character he is within the team.
It's Neil Ellison, our striker, he's been around the non-league circuit for a while, but he only made his debut in about November last year for us in the game against East Villa Rail. That was his his game.
You could see his quality in the game, even though we got battered 7-1. You could see he was going to be.
He had a couple of chances that but it's not only his ability to sniff out chances, and it's his ability to work them for himself. It's the work that he puts in and around kind of the attacking half.
Positive attitude as well. Yeah, it rubs off on the younger players.
Yeah,
he's not scared to speak up.
No,
but he's not a bully.
No, he's not.
He's just a all-round positive guy.
And he defends his club. He defends his teammates. He's an absolutely brilliant fella to have around, and we love him.
Everybody needs an Ellie in the team.
Yeah, everyone needs an Ello in the team. So he got off the mark early doors in the second half to put us 2-0 up after Tom Broadfoot had opened the scoring with a fantastic goal. Absolutely pinpoint pass from Brandon Carrington from the middle of the park out to the wing, and Tom runs onto it. He runs from the wing, sort of into the middle, connects with the ball and smashes it in at the near post, and we go in 1-0 up at half time, and we think this could be sort of a bit of a shaky one, and then we get 2 goals within the first 5 minutes of the second half to put us into something of a comfortable sort of.
I don't think there's any. As a Skelmersdale United supporter, I don't think there's any such word as comfortable.
No.
But that has come really, really close to it. Yeah. When you look back on it, you couldn't describe a better game where we felt as comfortable as that.
Correct. Yeah. I think we always felt that we were in some level of control. They didn't really bypass us or make Joe Langford work in goal. So that I think there was always that element of the defence is actually held quite strong. I mean, Joe Turner in centre half won near enough everything that came his way, both in the air and on the ground. And a big shout out to Joe Owens as well, our right back, who hasn't played really since October, but has managed 2 back-to-back 90-minute matches in a row. He was shattered, but do you know what? Like, the positivity again radiated off of him. He grafted for the team, and he worked really, really hard to kind of keep that back line as solid as he can. Fair play to him. Massively. And
it was great for Joe Langford as well to keep a clean sheet. It's the prized possession, isn't it? All you
you just want a clean sheet,
the most valued part of your game, really.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, we in a week where the Tottenham goalkeeper has had an absolute nightmare and been substituted after 17 minutes of the game, I think the spotlight on the goalkeepers is so much brighter and more.
What did you make of that?
I was horrible. 2 mistakes, sure, but they didn't hook Loris Karius off in the final of the Champions League because of those 2 howlers that he made. And the kid's 22 years old and he's made 2 mistakes on his...
Manager's not thought that one through at all.
No, he's not thought that one through. But then to completely blank him when he substituted him as well, that's horrible.
How old is he?
22.
22?
So he's the same age as Joe, give or take. He might even be younger than Joe.
He is younger.
There you go. So Joe will tell you himself that mistakes are sort of looked upon more closely as a goalkeeper than just about any other position, really. So it was brilliant for him to have got a clean sheet today in front of his wife and his little girl as well. They were there, and his dad and his 2 brothers actually, who were all in attendance. It was a full family affair.
For us as well.
Good. Do we know where he plays?
I'm not too sure, to be honest.
Good. But anyway, it's just another reinforcement to the push that we've got. So that puts us on 9 points, which means that for the second time this season we have surpassed the points total that we had from last season. It still leaves us bottom of the league, but we do have 2 games in hand on MSB Woolton reserves, who are just above us, and if we sort of continue at this pace, we will finish a solid mid-table.
Just like to repeat though, the 2 teams that dropped out of the league that are still officially below us, we beat.
Yes, we did.
So, we're probably not in such a false position.
No, I think,
anyway.
I think that
we're there on merit.
Yeah, we're there on merit. I think the table itself is a bit of a falsehood, really, isn't it? Because if those 2 teams were still playing, we would have at least guaranteed 6 points from them. We may even have beaten them a second time around as well. So that's an extra 12 points to our tally. That puts us on 21. That easily puts us 5th. And if you consider the games that we have lost by a single goal where we should have won or drawn, there's no question whatsoever that we're in 5th or 4th. So it's very, very easy to kind of look at that table and just say, Skemmer just being crap again. No, well, I know actually there's a whole lot more nuance to it that you need to take notice of.
Yeah, loved it, enjoyed it.
Oh, it was a fantastic day out there. I had a pint afterwards.
Yeah, I didn't, so I had to get off for a family party.
Yes, you did.
Yeah, it was a great day. I was going to say that in terms of it being a clean sheet, I was going to mention positionally, the players playing in different positions, some of them. What did you feel about Brandon playing in more in a central midfield position?
I think that probably suits him an awful lot better.
He was really busy, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was busy, but I think they used him really well as kind of the focal point to then spread the play here and there. So if the ball wasn't going from Leighton out to the wings by a sort of a 40-50 yard pass, it's going along the ground to Brandon, and he's got time to turn and move as he sees fit. He scored the 3rd goal as well, so he got that little merit there for his efforts
skill
as
set
well.
Is amazing.
It's ridiculous. He's a real jewel that we've found in the squad this season, and we're grateful to have him. But I think he's much better at a 10 than as a winger, and that's not belying his abilities as a winger. It just adds more emphasis to his abilities as a 10.
Just about who did we beat? I can't remember the name of the team now.
Waterloo Dock.
Waterloo Dock, the famous Waterloo. How could I forget the famous Waterloo Dock?
We weren't defeated, we won the war.
Yeah, we did. And it was brilliant. It was really, really good to watch. But listen, so now we're away to Nalgo in the 3rd round of the
George Marn Cup.
The George Marn Cup.
Yes.
It is the George Marn Cup.
Yes, it is.
So we play the 3rd round on Saturday against Nalgo. We've been beaten by Nalgo narrowly.
4-1 it was. But that
not so narrowly.
No, but that doesn't tell the whole story. That doesn't tell the whole story, does it? They scored twice, I think, within the last 10 minutes of the game, something like that, and we fell off sort of quite dramatically there. But we've got a much more capable squad this time around. So if you remember, I think that was Nick's last game in charge, was the Nalgo game away, or it was certainly one of them. And then since Andy's come in, we've obviously turned around the personnel within the squad, and I think we've got a much better team now than what we did then, and I honestly feel like we could do more against this Nalgo than that Nalgo.
Well, that's what I pointed out before. I know we're talking about cup games amongst league games, but we've won 2 games out of the last 3. And I did say at some stage, once we get to that position where we're winning more than we're losing, you know that you come pretty close to establishing a decent squad of players. And I feel as though that's happening now. Yeah,
I think we're well on the way to it. And I think Andy will tell you the same. I think there's probably a few additions that we need here and there. But I mean, in an ideal world, I think every manager will say, you know what we could do with tinkering or tweaking in this area here and what have you. But I think more recently we've started to show that we've got a real kind of capability to win games there, and there was games that we lost that we should have won as well, which I think is part of the learning process as well, particularly since the start of the year. So we won, how many games have we won now since the start of the year? Is it 3?
I think in total we've run around about 7, so what is it now, 3 cup games. 3 league games and 4 cup games, is it? Oh, sorry, no, the 2 that we won. We won 2 league.
So that would be 5, and then
games that don't count.
Won 2 in the George Mann and 1 in the
Yeah,
Crozesi.
7 or 8, something like that.
Yeah, so we won 8 games of those, and I think
3 of
those have been since the turn of the year as well. So if you think about it in that term, there's obviously a bit more consistency within these couple of months that we've had, especially given that we've had a big gap through January and February.
Moving in the right direction.
So I think we are honestly moving in the right direction. So we come into the game against So we come into the game against Nalgo. We're on a slightly better run. I think we've got a good squad turnout as well. I think we've got
good healthy squad.
We've
made additions to it.
Yes, we have.
We
made
had a good
signings.
at training.
Did we? Excellent.
So full squad.
Really? Excellent.
Going into Saturday's game. Hopefully we have no injuries. There's 1 or 2 little knocks that we won't know about until probably late Friday night. But other than that, we're looking good. We're looking strong. So brilliant.
Excellent.
Yeah. Great. Great show so far.
Yeah.
We'll round it off with our thoughts in the past week, and we'll start with you.
My thoughts in the past week?
Yeah.
I mean, what the hell does that mean? We've never focused on that before.
Well, okay, what's the wording you normally use?
What have you learned?
Yeah, what have you learned this week?
Well, I'm going to say, make it black and white.
What are your thoughts on what you learned this week so far?
What I've learned...
got an earache, Well, listen, I also found out through my my issue with my neck, and the compression on my spinal cord, it actually affects my speech.
Oh God!
Yeah.
How worried are you?
Well, now that I understand it a little bit more, because I do consider myself to be a fairly intelligent bloke, but there are occasions when I'm like, whoa, particularly struggle on wording.
Yeah. Just be careful there.
Yeah.
Christ.
But anyway,
what I've learned. So here's what I
learned. Anyway.
What I've learned is this: don't go into any situation purely on emotion, particularly if that emotion is anger or frustration or something like that, because you've no idea what the outcome could be. Either for yourself or for whoever you're getting into a heated debate with. We saw it on Saturday. We were playing against a team whose manager was very much a hothead, stormed over to Frank because one of his non-playing players has been charged gate entry to come in, and he was seething about that. He also ran onto the pitch and physically pushed a couple of our players, when getting involved. And I just think that level of hot-headedness is utterly stupid. And there's absolutely no need for it at the age that he was. But considering what we've learned through Joey Barton now on the outside of it, what good does it actually do you now? You've changed a man's life for the worse, and you're now, potentially looking at a prison sentence as well. It's just not worth it. There's a time to walk away. There just is.
Yeah, I think we talked about it a few weeks ago about the emotions that football bring to people, and people who would normally not act or react in a certain way do when the mind is focused on the complexities of football and results and things like that. I think we all have to be careful. I mean, what I've learned anyway is that basically for everything that you do learn on a day-to-day basis, you can mix it all up in a baseball cap, and then you can throw it all away, because we learn on a day-to-day basis. We're never fully, completely aware of everything. We don't know everything. No. We might profess to think we know everything. Yeah. I think we're living in an era now where opinions trump facts, which is a worrying road to go down. Yeah. I too, when we sort of headlined the controversial corner there about the reactions from Kids Grove. Now we've been talking about Joey Barton again in the same section. We were talking about racism last week. I think I'd just like to say to everybody, just give your heads a wobble. And on that note, we'll leave the final words to the dulcet tones of AJ.
You've been listening to the Speaking Frankly Football Show with me, AJ Vergette, and my co-host, Mr. Frank Hughes. This podcast is available on most streaming services wherever you get your podcasts, including Spotify, Amazon Music, and now YouTube. Please rate and review, as we do thrive off hearing your feedback. Please also subscribe so that you can find out firsthand where the new episode of the show has been released. We're also available on social media sites, most prevalently Facebook and X, under the banner term Speaking Frankly Football Show. And so from myself and Frank, thank you very, very much for tuning in, and we'll see you next week for another episode of the show. Until then, bye-bye for now.